I recently found a PlayStation 3 at Goodwill, and I think it might have been owned by somebody in the cartel. Maybe not, but that's what a lot of people said whenever I posted a short about it recently. When I brought it home, it had a ton of random stuff on it. I wanted to go over this a little bit more in detail because I thought it was super interesting, and apparently a lot of other people did too. So to start off, I went to a Goodwill one night and I came across a dirty looking PlayStation 3 sitting on the shelf. Go to Goodwill a lot, so every now and then I see like a Wii or an Xbox with the hard drive ripped out of it. So I was a little wary whenever I saw the PlayStation 3, but I went ahead and took a few things off the shelf to try to test it out before I decided whether or not I wanted to buy it. Plugged in the PlayStation first just to see if it would turn on in general. Turned on the PlayStation, ejected a disc, and out pops Grand Theft Auto 5, which was great. Love that game. Plugged in an HDMI to an old TV, and it worked for the most part. It had a error on the screen that showed that it was unplugged early and that the hard drive might be corrupted. So I was a little wary about that because that could have meant that the hard drive was failing, but I bought it and brought it home anyway. I figured even if it didn't work for games, I could still bring it home and use it as like a Blu-ray and DVD player. So I brought it home and tried to get it set up. Hard drive screen kept popping up, and so I was a little worried that it was, kaput. After a few boot cycles, so unplugging it and plugging back in, I was able to get past the screen. I don't have any PlayStation 3 controllers and it didn't come with any, so I had the idea to plug my PlayStation 4 controller into it, and it worked. I was able to go through some of the menus and there was already an account on it. So I go through and I'm scrolling through all of the tabs just to see if there are any games or anything cool left on there. There was a ton of music and a bunch of random meme pictures that I thought were pretty funny. As I'm doing this, I'm recording it, sending it to my friends saying like, oh, this is so funny, look at all this crazy stuff. That was pretty much all I thought about it. So I jailbreak it, I start using it as normal, and I forget about, all the extra stuff. Fast forward a few months, I'm clearing out pictures on my phone, and I see the PlayStation 3 videos, and I think, what if I put this into like a little video, because I still think it's so funny. So I did. Oh my gosh. So many more people that I could have imagined saw this. Part of the video, I'm going through the music on the PlayStation, like scrolling through, and listen to like maybe 15 seconds of 4 or 5 songs. I'm not culturally versed in Spanish or Mexican music. I said it was mariachi, and I'm sorry for generalizing it as mariachi music because I haven't heard, this genre of music before, but the comments that I have gotten on the short have informed me that it is definitely complete opposite of mariachi music. This is not innocent music. People are saying that this is narco corridos. I hope I said that right. For those that aren't familiar, this is a genre of music with songs that basically have subject matter revolving around the Mexican cartel lifestyle and some of the people that are involved. I kind of had an idea what this music was about based on a few of the names of the songs, but I just didn't think anything of it. So I got to learn a new genre. In addition to some of the questionable music that was left on there, there were also some interesting pictures on there as well. Most of these are just like silly memes, like SpongeBob wearing like gangster clothes with weed in the background. But there were also a few pictures of like pistols and guns that I won't show, but I thought it was really interesting that those were on there as well. Otherwise, that was pretty much all that was left on it. I mean, the user was on there. There were like friend requests and everything, but I didn't snoop. I didn't want to see all that. I cleared whoever used this off the console, but I kept the pictures and videos because it's pretty much a relic. It's crazy that I found this on the PlayStation that I got from Goodwill. Besides all that, I've actually been really loving the PlayStation 3 as a console. It's actually really nice. The console is still capable of so many things. In the original video, I kind of talked about how I wanted to buy it as a Blu-ray player, which why buy a PlayStation just to watch movies? Well, it plays DVDs and Blu-rays with crystal clear picture quality, and it's highly revered by the Blu-ray player fandom, funny enough. Definitely isn't 4K, but 1080p still looks great. This console still feels so modern for something that was released over 10 years ago. The menu system is beautiful and streamlined, super simple and easy to navigate. All the icons are beautiful. It looks great on my modern TV, and I've been enjoying a lot of the older games and realizing that the quality is actually really great for the time. Generation 7 console era has some amazing games on it that I'm so happy to have gotten to play, and it's been surprisingly easy to find PlayStation 3 games at thrift stores for pretty cheap too. Like 2 weeks after I got the PlayStation, I found The Last of Us for $5 and Deus Ex for $5 and Little Big Planet for $7. So Not bad pricing for games that are staples of the time. I'm more of a casual gamer, so I never really played first-person shooters, but since this is a CECH 2501A version of the Slim console, I am able to put custom firmware onto this and have access to even more games. Like, I've been playing a bunch of my old PlayStation favorites, and it's been a ton of fun getting to go through and play those. As a whole, it's actually a really amazing entertainment device. I can play CDs, which surprisingly, the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 cannot play CDs, but the PlayStation 3 can. So that adds a ton of extra value to me because I have a pretty robust CD collection. Now, I'm not going to lie and say that these games look great to this day, because there are plenty of instances where the resolution and frame rate and aliasing give these games the dated look compared to a lot of games released more recently. Most of the games play at a resolution of 720p or below, and you'll be lucky if you get gameplay at a frame rate higher than 30 FPS in most cases. But honestly, the graphical capabilities of the PlayStation 3 did surprise me when playing a lot of the Hallmark games that were released for this system. This is an awesome budget system for somebody who wants to get into some of the older games and have a system that can do so many more things. It can play CDs, DVDs, Blu-rays, games. It can be a media library. It can do so many things, and it's so cheap. This didn't come with a PlayStation 3 controller, and I didn't have any at my house, and they seem to be a little hard to find. I couldn't find any in any local stores around, but I did have some PlayStation 4 controllers sitting around at my house that I ended up trying to plug in and use. You plug it directly in from the micro USB to the front of the console, and basically you can control and play games that way, but I wanted to figure out how to do it wirelessly. So you can pair it wirelessly through Bluetooth, but I noticed that a few of the games, not all of the controls would work. Like, some of the trigger buttons in some games wouldn't work. There was no rumble feedback or motion controls. It was hindering a few of the games that I was playing. So I ended up getting this little adapter that you basically plug into the USB at the front of the console, and it connects to the controller as it would if it were a native controller. After pairing the controller to the little dongle, I was able to get all of the other functions in the games to work perfectly fine. I can use the PlayStation button, gives rumble feedback through the games, and it also has some motion for the few games that have that capability. So overall, this console, even though it's over 10 years old, I still think it has a ton of value. The games that you can play on this system still hold up very well to this day. And honestly, I'm not somebody who needs to have the latest and greatest console, so being able to play through some of the older games still is great. And although I'd love to have a PlayStation 5 at some point, I feel like I can wait a little bit longer because honestly, the library for the newest consoles isn't that great yet, and the backlog of all of the classics for the PlayStation 3, 2, and PS1 are great, and to be able to play through some of those on this console honestly has been a joy for me. If you can find one of these, totally get it. I wouldn't say seek out a PlayStation 3 unless you really want to use it for playing some older games, but I'm honestly glad that I found the one that I found because it was a joy to discover all of the stuff that was left on it. Thanks for watching this short video that I made. I had no idea so many people would watch it, and thanks for watching this if you watched it all the way to the end.